Hello, this is Mr. Folger here with the solutions to the second practice problem set. So hopefully you guys did okay with this, and I recommend that you go back through your work that you had and correct any mistakes. And again, reach out with any questions that you still have. So for this question, we're given two arcs for number one. We're given that DB is 34 degrees. And we're given that arc AC is 50 degrees. Now these are two arcs and we're trying to find the measure of angle AEC, which is this one right there. Now, for this angle in here, what you need to keep in mind is that that is not a central angle or an inscribed angle. So it's not going to be equal to 50 or half of 50. This is an angle that's formed by two intersecting chords. In other words, we have two vertical angles on the inside that open up to the arcs 50 and 34. There is a formula for this. The formula for this is that the angle equals the two arcs added together divided by 2. You might have seen this as 1/2 arc plus arc or arc plus arc over 2. So filling in the formula, the angle is x, and the arcs are 50 plus 34 divided by 2, which is 84 divided by 2. So that that angle is going to be 42 degrees. So that's what that is there. So there's the answer to number one. Okay, number two, again, we have two intersecting chords, but this time we're not talking about angles and arcs, we're talking about the actual lines. So let's label what we have. We have 4.5 for AE. We have 5.3 for EB, 4.2 for DE, and it says determine the length of EC. So there's X. Now, there is also a formula for this. The formula for this was A times B equals C times D. The important thing to keep in mind with this is that you're multiplying the two parts of the same chord. That is what A and B are and C and D are. So let's look at these first two parts here, 4.2 and X. So 4.2 times X is 4.2X. C times D, we have 4.5 and 5.3. So time equals 4.5 times 5.3. So at this point, we just need to multiply and then divide. So 4.5 times 5.3, let me get my calculator going here. 4.5 times 5.3, we get 23.85. And then we divide by 4.2. And you get, what does it say, nearest tenth is about 5.7. So there is the solution to number 2. All right, so there's the first two problems from the problem set. Now let's move on to number 3. Number 3 has a special relationship between two of the lines in this triangle. Okay, we're told this is a radius and this is a tangent. Whenever you have a radius that meets a tangent, this is a right angle. That is important. That is extremely important to know because the fact that this is a right triangle means we can use Pythagorean theorem, we can use SOHCAHTOA. Right triangles are extremely useful in geometry, so knowing that is a good start. Now, it says the radius is 5, so I'm going to put a 5 here. And then it says the tangent from A to B is 12. Find KB. So I want to find this whole line here. Now, to find that, if we know this is a right triangle and I have two sides of it, then we can use A squared plus B squared equals C squared. Or 5 squared plus 12 squared equals C, or you could call it X, it doesn't matter. So at this point, it's just a matter of doing the calculations. 5 squared plus 12 squared is 169, and the square root of 169 is 13. So that should be the answer to number 3. So pretty straightforward. Once you realize that that is a right triangle, you can just use Pythagorean theorem. Now the last one, the one that some people had some trouble with. Okay, again, this is a great example of where you have to read the question step by step. So we're told in the question that it's an isosceles triangle that AB is equal to BC. Okay, that's going to be really, really important. These two sides are equal. And we're told that EB is 6, and this whole line is 10. Well, if that's an isosceles triangle, that means this whole line is also 10, right? And we can say that this is probably also 6. We're trying to find AC. Now, we don't have to set up an equation for this one. What we do have to do is look at, if this whole line is 10, AB, and EB is 6, 10 minus 6 leaves 4 for AE, and that means this is also 4. And the only other property that you need to know is that if you have two tangents coming from the same point that hit a circle, so for example, this one and this one, right? Those two lines are going to be the same length. So this is 4, and that is also 4, because this equals that, and that equals that. So now AC is just 4 plus 4. So AC equals 4 plus 4, which is 8. So there's the solution to the third one. I hope this helped. Go back, check your work, make sure that you know how to do all these, and we will be moving on to some new lessons starting tomorrow. Thank you very much.